is a massive, massive wake-up call to parents. What does the show mean, and what is it trying to get across? That show really has impacted me in more ways than I could ever imagine. I'm going to level with you. I'm fucking terrified about my daughter growing up in this generation. I'm absolutely terrified. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Break the Ice. And it's time to talk about the new smash hit Netflix show, Adolescence, the impact that it's having, what it means for you, what it means for the creators, what it means for me. Because I don't think there is one point or one meaning to this show. I think if you ask somebody, which I did do today actually, what do you think Adolescence is about? And the answer was, it's about some kid murdering some girl. I was like, I don't get that. For me, that's the C-D plot. I think that this show is much, much deeper than that of the murder of a young girl in school. I think it's much, much deeper than that. Now, first of all, I just want to give massive shout outs to the creators of Adolescence. The acting is some of the best acting I've seen, and the writing may be, in my opinion, the greatest writing of any show I've ever seen. So realistic, it's hard to know that you're watching actors. So I'm not here to talk about Adolescence per se as like a roundup of the show. I'm not here to give it a review. I'm here to talk about what does the show mean and what is it trying to get across. I believe that everybody takes something different from this. This is deeply, deeply got to me. I've nearly shed a tear once before watching. See, there's masculinity right there, isn't it? The fact it's hard to admit that. Nearly shed a tear at the end of the film Captain Phillips. The acting at the end of Captain Phillips, when the pirates had just been executed, the acting from Tom Hanks was just unbelievable. I think that's what gets me emotional in TV and drama and movies, is realism. Now, that end scene with Stephen Graham when he's in the bedroom and he's tucking the teddy bear in. Now, if that doesn't choke you up, I don't know what will. Stephen Graham, probably the greatest actor that's ever come from this country. Phenomenal. So, yeah, I'm here to talk about what it means and what I have taken from this, because it's really impacted me, really affected me quite a lot. And I think that this show, I think that this drama isn't about Jamie. It's not about Jamie's dad. It's not about the murder. It's not about the psychologist. It's not about the police handling. It's not a whodunit. This is just, in my opinion, it's not about toxic masculinity. For me, and this is what I take from it, this is a massive, massive warning / wake-up call to the generation, to what's going on in the generation of 10 to 20-year-olds right now in 2025. And I won't lie to you, my daughter's 11 years old, and I'm terrified. I'm terrified about her going to high school. I'm terrified about this generation right now. And this show is a massive, massive wake-up call to parents, I think. Again, I think this show is made in a way where you could ask 10 people what you think it's about, and I think it's very, very subjective. Some might say family, some might say masculinity, some might say murder, some might say it's a generational program. And what I take from it is the generation of today, with social media as it is, with the various different platforms of communication, the apps, WhatsApp and Snapchat in particular, TikTok. Can't stand TikTok. I think it's a lethal weapon, just hiding in plain sight. I don't like TikTok. And this show, I've always been very vigilant, very on it, maybe too over the top in my protection of my child. But what this show has done for me is made me really, really think about even more. What is life like right now for this generation? They're just leaving primary school, going into high school, going into college. That generation of children. And what's it like? We learn in this show about how there's so many different emojis, and almost like they have code. I don't want to make this kind of a crude video, but we know what a lot of these mean. But when I started hearing in the show about like the red pill and the blue pill, like, do we know what our children are doing in their bedrooms? Do we know who they're talking to and what they're talking about? Do we know what they're actually going through? This is actually quite a hard thing to talk about, this. I normally have notes. I'm looking like where they would be. I don't. iPad's here. Don't even need it. Throw it on the bed. I don't have any notes. It's just all coming from within. It's really easy to think that your kids are safe sat in their bedrooms. Which, let's face it, we all know. Anyone that's a parent now to a 10 to 15, 16-year-old, how often are they just in the bedrooms? I'm fairly lucky that my child does go out a lot. She does ride a bike. She does play football. She's got after-school activities. That happens a lot. I'm sure there's a lot of parents out there that try and enforce that on their children. But at the end of the day, that's an hour or 2 hours. It might be 2 hours a week that happens. That's quite easy to think that your children are safe, sat in their bedrooms. You're downstairs, they're upstairs, they're safe. We know where they are. I refute that. And I think the opposite is true. And that's why I believe that this show is a huge warning and a wake-up call to all parents. And I think this will go down in history as one of the most influential pieces of TV of all time. Whether that was the intention or not, I don't know, but it's definitely having it. Which generation was safer? Let's say kids born between 1980 and 1992, something like that. That's probably a generation. I looked into this, but I've forgotten whether it's millennial, Gen Z. I don't know. Someone will. Could have searched it now, but this is just coming off the dome. It'd be quite easy to say that generation, my generation, we're not as safe as the generation now. Because what were we doing? We all know. we were going out. We were playing football. We were playing man-hunt. We were playing Kirby. We were playing knock-a-door run. We were going on bus rides. You go and find abandoned buildings. I'm not recommending these things, but I'm just saying this was what I did growing up. You find fun. You make your own fun. Playing man-hunt. Big group of you. I remember after, like, at the end of the day in year 6, and we'd all arranged to meet that night after school in the summer. Like 20 of us playing man-hunt. No phones. No social media. No Snapchat. But your parents don't really know where you are. So it'd be quite easy to think now that we weren't as safe as a generation of today. But if you really think about it, how often does a child get abducted? How often does that actually happen? That's a rarity. That's why it's such a huge story, because it's so rare. It didn't happen. There's too many people around. There's too many kids around. Parents would pop out of the house and have a look up and down the road. Times that by hundreds of parents. The streets were safe. Now, kids are hardly going out. Yeah, they will. Not like we did. So they're sat inside, in the bedrooms. We're all guilty of this. We leave them in the bedroom. You want to give them independence. When your kids get into 10, 11, 12, you can't constantly be like there. They want to shut the door to their bedroom. You can't invade it. It's their privacy. But what are they doing on the phone? What are they digesting? What are they taking in? What is the culture? Watching Adolescence and seeing all the emojis and everything that they mean. Who knows what's happening? Back in my day, sadly, kids did get bullied. I was lucky I didn't, because I was such a gobshite. No one would bother. The kids did. But then they'd leave school, go home, and there's none. Unless there's problems at home, but that's a different kettle of fish. But the bullying doesn't go home with you. It stayed at school, so there's respite. There's time away. Now, you could be bullied in school and go home, and it comes through Snapchat, it comes through TikTok, it comes through WhatsApp, it comes through God knows what else there is. And this show, Adolescence, I already had these kind of thoughts and stuff like that and these worries. But Adolescence really, really, really drove it home properly that this is a very, very, very concerning time for kids to be growing up. I think the internet and how it's blossomed, that's not a compliment, how it's bloomed to where it is now is not a good thing. I think unlimited communication is not a good thing. Back in the day, you wanted to speak to your friend, they came and knocked on your house or they rang the house phone. We couldn't just speak to people willy-nilly, which now looking back was probably a good thing. Time away from people, time away from communication, time away from toxicity. I think if you look at this show, Adolescence, and like I said before, everybody has a different takeaway from it. Like I said, I don't think it is a show about murder. I don't think it is a show about toxic masculinity. I don't think it's a show about the psychologist or the police. I think it's subjective. It may be to you. But what I got from it is what is going on in today's society with the young people, what they're going through. And I think they are having the toughest time, and they don't even know it because they're used to it, and it's all they know. So I got really itchy nose. It's all that they know. It's really tough being a parent to a child of this generation. Like I said, my daughter's 11, and it's fucking tough. Don't know what to do. Don't know what to do right for wrong. Try your best all the time. Or what is right? What is wrong? She came up to me the other day. I've got a real problem with TikTok. I always have done. I find it's a guise for inappropriate content. I've always thought that. But it's named TikTok. It's innocent sounding. It's disgusting. Kids have got it. I've got my daughter come up to me, can I get TikTok? Can I get TikTok? Can I get TikTok? For the past 3 years, no. Then you feel like the dickhead. Then you feel like the bad man. But then you've got to find that line. You've got to find the balance of, well, I want to protect them, but then you've got to think, but she goes out, because luckily she does go out, not as much as I did or my generation did, but they do go out. She does go out with her friends. But guess what? They're still going out with the phones. They're not all doing what we did. They're stood around. They're stood around on phones, just in each other's company. But they're in the company of the phone, really. To the point about TikTok. So if she goes out with them, even if she doesn't go out, she's in school, and loads of her friends have got TikTok and she doesn't have it, then she becomes a gimp. Then she becomes a target for bullying because, oh, you're not allowed it. What a gimp. You're not allowed TikTok. We are. You don't want your kid to be the gimp. You don't want your kid to get bullied, but you want to protect your kid. What do? I'm going to level with you. I'm fucking terrified about my daughter growing up in this generation. I'm absolutely terrified. I think this is a really, really, really defining generation in history. I feel like the growth of the internet, it's kind of maxed out now to where it is. My daughter came up to me the other week, and she's with a friend, and she said, and in a fairness, she asked permission for a lot of things. I mean, who knows? There may be things that she does that I don't know about, but she does ask me certain things. And she said, Dad, can I go live on TikTok with my friend if I put a filter over my face? No. Why? No, you're not doing it. Why? What do you say? Do you say because it's full of absolute adult wrong? Not full of them, you know what I mean. There is predators there on that platform, like there will be on Snapchat, and they're there, and they're waiting for two young girls to drop a video so they can scroll through. Predators, peas, wrong-uns, monsters. But what do you say? You don't want to put the absolute frighteners up your child. But also you need some kind of reasoning. So I just say, you don't know who's watching. There's a lot of weirdos out there. That's as far as I can go with my language. She walks away. She's got to go and tell a friend, no, not allowed. You feel like a dickhead. Well, sometimes protecting your child comes at the cost of feeling like a dickhead. Because doing the right thing, that is not always the way how your child sees it. So adolescence has really, really made me think about, this is what I've taken away from it, is what world are they living in? Do we know everything? When I was learning about the emojis, watching, was it episode 2? I think it was episode, yeah, it was. The emojis in episode 2 and how they all mean something. How insecure must this generation feel? Did you know, obviously it's all shot in one sequence. Going around the school, really great touch by the directors to have every single kid's on the phone. Every single kid is on their phone. If you watch, they're all on it. The respect levels are not what they used to be. You got kids, sat in like offices talking to teachers and police and stuff like that, and they can just get up and go. Too much freedom, too much what's the word? It's like too much self-importance. That might not be the right expression. I can't think of the exact right expression, but kids are doing what they want more. Less respect for adults, I'm finding. I think if you look at adolescence, I think that everyone will take something different and everyone will relate to a character. So whether you're watching this as someone in school, you'll relate to Jamie maybe, or one of the other students. You may relate to Jamie's sister. I'm going to talk about the family in a minute as well. They're so realistic. I mean, I've got to give massive, massive props. Especially, we know Stephen Graham's a GOAT. Stephen Graham's wife in the show, unbelievable performance. I thought she was my standout, actually. Really, really good. It's quite emotional talking about this show. It's really, really affected me and a lot of people. And I don't think the show even had any idea. So I think everybody will relate to a character. Whether it be Jamie, sister, the mother, the psychologist, a police officer, a teacher, with like Jamie's dad, who I particularly, that was kind of the one that I related to the most, just as a dad. 11-year-old, my child, Jamie was 13. It's so sad. So I related to Jamie's dad, Stephen Graham's character. I think what it was about getting such emotion through that character was how, at the end, that final scene when he's in the bedroom, like I said, if that doesn't bring a tear to your eye, I don't really know what will. But he took that teddy bear in and kissed that bear, and he absolutely, just before he did this, he absolutely bawled and broke down. Because his son is a murderer. But again, everything about this show is subjective and how you take it. I think that's what the point kind of is. What do you take from it? Think about Tarantino, and do you remember, if you've seen Pulp Fiction, and the suitcase and they open it and you just see a glowing light? They never reveal what's in that box because Tarantino said everyone then gets a different version of the movie because it's what you interpret it to be. I think this is the same. What do you interpret it? Is it Jamie's dad's fault? Because Jamie's dad does have anger issues, doesn't he, in parts? We see it in the final episode. Irrational behaviour, just throwing the paint over the van. You know, running up to his kids and basically assaulting them without thinking. Some people may think it's Jamie's dad's fault that Jamie is how he is, but then look at the daughter, who's very, very with it. She's not behind the door. She's intelligent. She's witty. She's clever. So it doesn't feel like a product of upbringing. For me, this is a product of generation and peer pressure, being part of something. And maybe Jamie did have psychological problems. The murder was obviously premeditated to get the knife, but why would a 13-year-old choose to do this? The whole incel subject is brought up. I've heard the word incel before, but I didn't really know what it meant. Involuntary celibate. So, is there a big problem with lads getting rejected? I think it's what 80% of women / girls in their world are attracted to 20% of men / boys. So your odds are slim. I could go on and talk about the different strands to this for a very long time, and how real it feels, and the big wake-up call, the big message, the big warning, which is what is going on in your kid's bedroom? What are they watching? What are they talking about? Who are they talking to? What are these groups that they're in? What do we do about it? What is the right thing to do as a parent? I feel helpless as a parent, as an adult. I won't lie to you, I'm having a real struggle just being a parent to an 11-year-old girl. This is a soul-bearing video. I've never really done one like this before. But that show really has impacted me in more ways than I could ever imagine. More ways than I could ever imagine. It's opened my eyes up, it scared me. And it's made me worry about when she starts to go to high school, which is going to be soon. I remember when the internet came out, I was like 7 years old. And it was unbelievable. What is this? And you're dialing up on AOL. You have email. You pick up the phone and... When it first came out, it was so basic. Ask Jeeves was there. Google just started. Yahoo, and simple. But now it's this space with the smartphones and the apps. And I think it's gone too far. And kids don't live their lives in the natural way in which I think that they should, which is outside, not on your phone, playing, riding bikes, climbing trees, falling over, cut your knee, tough shit, part of life. Go and play in Manhunt. And go and play knock a door run, all those things. You're not hurting anyone, but they're going out just on phones, aren't they? All just looking at them. Because I've been to go and pick up my daughter from like a local like recreational fields and stuff like that. Field and park and football pitches and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to pick her up and they're just in groups on phones. You got one little shit that's just vaping and she's like 11. And you're thinking, well, when's my daughter going to get pressured into that? It's just terrifying. It really is. Like I said, as you know now, this video isn't about adolescence per se, but it's what it's made me think about as a parent. It's not safe. It's not a good time to be alive. It's not a good time to be growing up. So let's just go back into adolescence one more time and the impact I think that this is going to have on society. Like I said, I think that the murder is like a C-plot. There's a couple of episodes where he wasn't in the last episode, Jamie, was he? Just his voice at the end. And he wasn't much. I don't think he was much in the second. It's all kind of one big blur. Obviously you binge it, don't you? It's all one big blur. I think this show is as big as it is. And it's going to continue to grow and it's going to continue to make waves all over the world. Because of how it's affecting individuals like myself. There's not many TV shows that have made me come on and talk about it like this. I mean, if you look on the banner on my channel, it says real life stories. And this is real life. Yeah, it's a drama. But it's fucking real. Not the murder necessarily. But this culture with young people now. This hierarchy system. It's being judged. These emojis. These labels. Thinking you're not good enough. I hate to say it, but I think mental health is only going to get worse. People are more self-aware these days than they ever have been. Anxiety is a word. Now, I didn't learn what the word anxiety was until I was about 16. I had it when I was younger. I had OCD when I was young, but I didn't know what it was. I called it the worried feeling. Anxiety is just a normal word now. Depression's a normal word. When you're 10. So I think that the message that I want to get across here is, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to make sure that I get her to put her phone down for a couple of hours. And whether she likes it or not, we're going to the park with a football. She likes football now. We're going to the park with a football. We're going for a walk to the beach. Luckily, I can do that. And if you don't like it, and you want to take your phone, or if you don't want to come and you want to stay in on your phone, tough shit. Because to the best of my ability, I think I know what's good for you. Definitely not perfect, far from it, but the message that I'm taking and that I think's a good one to kind of pass over is limit the time without taking the phones away from, don't take their phones off them. Don't make them delete the apps and all this kind of stuff. Because they're here now, they're here to stay. But say we're going out for a bit, leave your phone here. Ask them how school is going. Ask them what goes on. Do you use emojis as like kind of code? I mean, you can't be invasive as well. It's tough. You can't ask them what they're talking about, really, can you? 10, 11-year-old conversations, you can't be asking them what they're talking about. I don't know the answer. But I'm quite sure that a lot of parents out there feel the same way that I do. We don't know what to do. We don't know what's right. we don't know the best course of action. So I don't know the answer. I'm just trying my hardest to protect my daughter, to let her know that she's loved. I think that's a big one as well. I do it a lot, an awful lot, to the point where she gets annoyed and she's like, shut up, Dad. Tell your kids that you love them. Enforce that you love them. Not just say it, but show it in how you speak to them, by trying to understand them, by being patient. It's so hard, I know. They're in a different world now. Let them know you're there for them. Let them know you love them. Take them out, and whether they like it or not, you're keeping your phone at home when we're going somewhere. Talk, but put your phone away as well. I remember talking to my daughter about her being on the phone loads, and I have my phone in my hand. What sort of hypocrisy is that from me? So put your own phone down. So yeah, adolescence has had a massive impact on myself, and I think it has for a lot of people. And I want to know what you think. What does adolescence mean for you? What have you taken from this show? What does it mean for you? And how do you feel after watching it? Let your kids know you love them. Try and talk to them. Try not to be too invasive, of course. And try and do the right thing. And when you've worked out what the right thing to do is, please send me an email and let me know. Because deep down, I ain't got a fucking clue. But I'm trying big time. Anyway, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. It's a tough time. It's a tough generation for these youngsters right now. And I don't know if it's going to get worse before it gets better. But at least this show, Adolescence, can be an eye-opener to actually think more about what are they doing in their bedroom? Who are they talking to? What are they talking about? And what is the impact? And try and take them out of that bedroom, out of the house, and limit that as best as you can. Thanks very much for listening. Everybody, have a great day. As always, peace out.